What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another top 10. Appreciate everyone again that voted in the poll in the community tab. I'll again for next week's put it in the community tab so you can go and get involved and choose who you want to see next in the top 10. But the one that won for this week was Germany all-time top 10 players. So let's get into it. At number 10, we've got Podolski. A guy that was an attacker for Germany throughout the years. He won a World Cup with them as well. Obviously, he was at Arsenal for a little bit as well, but was probably more prominent when he was in Germany for, was it Köln or I don't know how you pronounce it, but in Germany. Wasn't massively appreciated at Arsenal. I don't think he probably did as well as he could have at Arsenal. Definitely had his moments, but similar to Germany, popped up now and again. But I felt like he did enough to make this list, and he's one that I remember getting them some crucial goals at times over the years. So that's Podolski, number 10. Number 9, Mesut Ozil. One that obviously still playing, I believe he's at Fenerbahce in Turkey, but fondly remembered for most of his time at Arsenal. At Real Madrid, I felt that he was at his peak and at his best, and he was still young at that point, but I think that was his best we saw of him when he did well at Arsenal at times, but for me, when he was at Madrid, he won quite a bit at a young age, and I feel like he was more consistent at that point, more hungry, and then he kind of lost his way a bit at Arsenal over the years and felt probably undervalued, underappreciated. And it kind of come to a bit of a sour end, which was a shame, but great for his country at times as well. I think he's an underrated player, a bit underappreciated, but he definitely probably brings it upon himself sometimes with off-the-field stuff and just probably valuing himself very highly, and sometimes managers and that probably don't always agree with him. But I think, as I said, them times when he was at Madrid, I think he was unplayable. And obviously before that at Werder Bremen caught a lot of people's eyes as well. I think he is underappreciated. And that's Mesut Ozil, playing in the number 10 position as well. Could be very creative, great technique, could score you goals, free kicks, corners, very well rounded. Not great defensively, but in an attacking sense, you could definitely see him changing the game for you. So Mesut Ozil, number 9. Number 8, Mario Gerza. Was at Dortmund for a number of years. He was highly sought after as a youngster. I remember when he first came through. Great technique on the ball. Bit of pace about him, quick feet, he could get forward and score you goals. And for Germany, he was a difference in the 2014 World Cup, as in the final against Argentina. He scored the only goal in the game, coming on in the 88th minute, in fact, for Germany's all-time top scorer in Miroslava. He come on in the 88th minute and scored. And also is quoted to saying when he was coming on, Klose told Gerza as he was coming onto the pitch to replace him, "Show the world you are better than Lionel Messi. And you can decide the World Cup." And he did. Went on to score the only goal in the match in the 113th minute in extra time. Germany got their 4th World Cup because of it. So a vital part in that World Cup for them, in the influence he had in their team. And I think he's still going as well. I think he's in his 2nd period at Dortmund. I don't think the spotlight's on him anymore like it used to be. I think that he was one that was highly thought of as a youngster, but probably didn't reach the standards and the heights that you'd probably expect and the potential he had at club level. He did it for Germany, obviously winning them the World Cup in that only goal. But I think at club level, he was definitely, people were expecting more than probably what he's done through his career. But still a very good player nonetheless, and he has to make this list. And the importance of that World Cup win in 2014, his being the only goal, he has to make the list. Number 8, Mario Gerza. Number 7, Sami Khadira. Now, people might be scratching their head at this one and thinking, how's he made your list? But it's some players that make your list, or make my lists, that are not necessarily the glamour signing, not necessarily the glamour player. And he was one of them. He did the dirty work, he did the donkey work, he did the hard graft and the stuff that goes unnoticed. But for me, you can't have a successful team and win stuff without them players in there. And he summed this up for me. Khadira played that holding role. He could get a bit of a box-to-box if you needed him to. But that holding role, I thought he played fantastically. You could rely on him all the time. Hardly ever injured as well. And I think he was just a very reliable player. As I said, he rarely let you down and played that role and was disciplined enough to stay in position and help them win. And obviously won a World Cup as well. So Sami Khadira, underappreciated, has to make my list. And he makes it in at number 7. Number 6, Manuel Neuer. A guy that changed a guy that changed goalkeeping in terms of having a ball-playing goalkeeper. He was the guy that changed it around, and we come to see it with a lot of modern goalkeepers now, the likes of your Edison. So Neuer was the first one to do that. I think he's made a huge impact for Germany at country level, international level, and also he's won countless things with Bayern Munich in his time there, and was even probably world class at Schalke as a youngster. I think his medals and trophies speak for themselves, and he's won Champions Leagues and things as well, so I think it speaks for itself, the confidence of the guy as well. He's got the confidence of maybe a striker, but he's a goalkeeper, and that sums it up for me. So Manuel Neuer, number 6. Number 5, a legend, Michael Ballack. I always remember him for Germany, probably more. I remember him at Leverkusen as well, and also at Bayern Munich, but I remember him more for Leverkusen than Germany when I first saw him. Never won anything with Germany, obviously, but his influencing got very close at times with Germany to winning stuff. I think was, like, you can't dispute it. Leverkusen obviously got to the final against that Madrid team in Champions League and lost to that iconic Zidane goal volley with his weaker foot. But Ballack steered his team to that final, and they were underdogs all the way pretty much, and they kept defying the odds apart from in the final. And he was a huge part, and probably the main part as to why they got that far, as him being the captain and the leader of that team. And for me, he's one that doesn't always get spoken about. Probably could have won a bit more, especially for his country. But maybe at times at club level, we could have maybe won a little bit more, but he still won his fair few bits. So for me, underrated, and one that I always feared if your team was going to play him, because he was a quality player and a great leader as well. So Michael Ballack, number 5. Number 4, Thomas Muller. Another player that he really doesn't look like a footballer. Looks more like a geography teacher or something. You can imagine him wearing like a tweed outfit or something. Do you know what I mean? He looks very much like a geek kind of thing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you just don't. You're not used to it when you come to watch an athlete. He doesn't look like an athlete, but he produces. He wins stuff. He's won countless things with Bayern Munich. He's a World Cup winner as well. He plays fundamental and crucial roles in each of these squads that he's been in and won stuff at. And I think he's only got better as his career's gone on, really. I think he's underappreciated again. He's probably going to retire soon, but I feel like he still offers a lot. And he's a great player to have, even in the dressing room, even if he's not playing as much now, to offer his experience and advice and what he's learned, because he's won a ton of things. So very underappreciated. And if you're going to look at someone and you're new to sports and football especially, and you see him, you'll be like, he doesn't look like a footballer or an athlete, but he produces. Thomas Muller, number 4. Number 3, Bastian Schweinsteiger. Another World Cup winner. Crucial in that midfield for them when they won the World Cup. Crucial over the years for his club, Bayern Munich. Went to Manchester United. I was excited when we signed him, but it was a little bit past his best, and the club weren't in a great position themselves at the time. So it didn't really work out, which was a shame. But in terms of leadership, a great midfielder. In his time, he was top 5 for me, probably, in midfielders in the world. And he won countless things with Bayern Munich, as I said. Great character, great leader, and a great footballer. Technique, could score goals. Defensively, he's just nasty and could do the work. A very well-rounded player. And in that midfield hub, especially for that time when they won the World Cup, he was crucial. So Bastian Schweinsteiger, number 3. Number 2, Miroslava Klose. All-time Germany top scorer. The guy, I grew up in tournaments watching him more for Germany than when he was at Werder Bremen and stuff. I knew him before from Germany, before I even knew who he played for at club level, because he had that much of an impact on the international stage in competitive tournaments like World Cups and European Championships, but more specifically World Cups. First time I remember seeing him was 2002, and he was building his goal-scoring run in that time, and then went to do it through countless tournaments for Germany after that. All-time top scorer for Germany, and it might take a while for that to get broken. Fundamental for Werder Bremen as well, when they were kind of hitting form back in the day. He led the line for them as well. And one that's underappreciated again, as an all-time top scorer for his country. I don't think he ever gets mentioned, and he should for me. So that is why I've got him at number 2, and he was nearly my number 1. So I rated him that highly. Great striker, great finisher, and his record speaks for itself. Miroslava Klose, number 2. Number 1, great leader. One that's not a glamorous role itself. It's It's probably more fundamental in how football is played now, and that is Philipp Lahm. Learned a lot as a youngster, coming through, producing at a high level at a young age for Bayern Munich and for Germany, and then just got better and better. Won a Champions League as well with Bayern Munich, and won the countless thing with Bayern Munich in terms of domestically, and for the national team as well. Just a great leader, led by example, not necessarily your vocal leader in terms of he's just going to rollick everyone all the time. But his performances alone would lead the line, and people would follow and have to meet his standards. And I love players like that, because you don't necessarily have to shout your mouth off to be respected. And for me, he did it with his performances week in, week out at club level. And then when the tournaments come around, it was very rare that he let you down. So for me, has to make number one. I don't think he always gets spoken about either. There's a few players on this list that I don't think get the respect that they should get, and Philipp Lahm sums that up as well for me. So great leader, won countless things for clubs, won a World Cup as well. But also, I think his versatility as a player, he could play at wing back, he could play at centre back if you needed him to, and he could play in midfield if you needed him to, and even on the wing if you needed him to. He was so versatile, and he never let you down. Even when he had to play all these different positions, he'd always be probably 8 out of 10 minimum every game. So for me, great player, undervalued, underappreciated for some, especially for me as well. I don't really ever, probably get spoken about now and again, but a lot of them on this list don't get the respect that they should. That is my all-time top 10 Germany players, guys. Let me know your order in the comments and who yours would be. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget, get in the community tab or next week's poll to let me know which one you want to see next week for the next top 10. And before I go, the target is 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of December. Let's get there. I can only do it with your support, guys, but we will smash it. But I need your support. Make sure the notifications are switched on, and I'll see you soon.